Welcome back to the Alternative Highs podcast. I'm Dustin Gahn. This is the #1 podcast in Southwestern Ontario. Today, I have two very special guests. It is my first time doing a two-person. It is a little bit of redneck ingenuity here, but this is Wes and Tiffany Cunningham. They run a bunch of stuff in our community. They have multiple businesses. They run a really cool gala. I'm going to kind of go through from when I started following, when you guys came on my radar. So your hockey career, that was wild to watch as a local, and you went European mainly?
Yeah, well, I was 3 years in Europe and then 7 in North America, so kind of went back and forth a little bit. But
and not only were you there, but you were a leader on a lot of your teams there, which was it's people don't understand what it takes for leadership to bring it back home. And I mean, you supporting that it is a cool thing to see your posts about it and see your excitement about it. Because when you guys came home, it was watching you grow a business. It was watching the restaurant as a pair. What about the hockey career and the business career made it simple for you guys to pivot so easily and make it look so much fun?
well, I don't know, to be honest, I wouldn't say it's an easy thing to do, but you know, with hockey, she was always there to support me, and you know, there's ups and downs in hockey and in life, so she always had this vision of the restaurant and businesses and whatnot. So when my career was kind of over, I just had to be there for her, support her vision, and just, you know, we both ran with it and, you know, run things by each other kind of thing. It's not, there's no magic potion or anything like that that makes it go. But
how long has Prem been going for?
Today is 4 years, actually.
Today's your anniversary?
Yeah.
Oh, happy anniversary. It's been, now for people who don't know what Prem is, could you give an explanation?
Yeah, so I started Prem when I was at home during COVID, actually. I don't like to say that C word, but it is what it is. We're stuck at home with the kids. The reason being also is that we had been at a restaurant at that time, and I just didn't want my kids to get any of the crazy that was going on, so I didn't want to put myself in the position of being there, so I'm like, I'm going to stay home. Called it quits. So at that point I'm like, what am I going to do? I need something that I can do from home. So I started an online clothing business in our basement of our house. Like literally was placing orders all these random places, and I'm not gonna lie, like the first order came in and I'm like, oh, I got all this awesome stuff, like I can't wait, we're gonna start selling it, whatever. It all showed up and I cried, and it's still sitting in the basement at the store as we speak. It was like the worst stuff ever. I got catfished. So a bunch of money went and was wasted right off the hop, and I'm like, oh no, what am I doing?
Learning curves
Yes.
are wild.
Yes, so it was hard though, because we couldn't just go places then. Like now you can go to Toronto and check out all the things that you're buying, but you couldn't do that then. You couldn't go in anywhere.
How, other than being catfished that time, how do you keep that dream alive when the very first thing is, nope, slow down?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm just like, it is what it is at that time, and I'm like, obviously it was a learning curve, and I just had to move past it. I'm like, I have to make a go of it. I'm not going to say it is what it is, but eventually it got better, and it's hard too, because I'm like, you reach out to these big brands, like, oh, I want to sell your product, and they're like, okay, send us all your references, how long have you been in business, like, where's your location, we want to see pictures of your store, and I'm like, well, I am on my computer in my basement in my house, so everyone's like, nope, 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 and no one would let me like sell their product. And then finally I got one really big one. Actually, it was like a men's brand. It was like Huts Clothing, and I couldn't believe it. Like my brother's like, reach out to them. Like all the athletes are wearing them. I'm like, they're not gonna sell. Like let me sell their clothes in my basement, whatever. And the guy, I got on a FaceTime call with him. He's like, you know what? And he's actually like, F it. He's like, we're not in Canada yet. Let's try it out. And then after that, I felt like the rest just kept coming. And yeah, so now.
It would be a hard market
Yeah.
in a small community. And like I mentioned earlier, we're usually late to a lot of the parties.
Yeah.
And what was that like trying to build that? Like you're 4 years now, there's the growing pains in the beginning. How does it sit with you now?
Well, once I opened the actual physical store, like the storefront, it was a lot. I want to say it was easier because people can come in and shop, but it was almost easier during COVID because no one could shop. So literally people placed their orders. I remember like as soon as I was like, we're live, I think I had like 120 orders within an hour because I was like hyping it up online. And then so the next day I'm sitting here packing orders with the girls, and Wes went and drove around and dropped them off on people's porches and stuff, you know, like COVID, right?
Yeah, different time.
Yeah, and then so then I got the small store, which I quickly outgrew, and then I opened the second one that's right next to the restaurant. And I still think that there's a lot of things that I don't know, and I'm still learning. And obviously with an economy the way it's been the last couple of years, it has been a struggle, but I don't know, we can figure it out.
Is there, like, will you branch this out, do you think? Is that the kind of long-term goal, or is it just play it by year?
Every day I feel like it's a different thing. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I have so much going on, I don't know if I can do like all the things right now. And then the next day I'm like, no, I can do this, I got this. I have some girls to
Pretty
help.
wild how much you do have going on.
Yeah, it's good.
Because like in the midst of all that, you guys started working on a beautiful restaurant. It's
Yeah.
my favorite place to go. I don't just say that to ride it here. I love your guys' place. When you guys said you were shutting down with friends and you weren't going to have anything to do with it, my heart broke that day. It was a struggle. Like, I was pretty bummed out. I really like what you guys do and the energy you guys bring. So to see when you started working on that, because it took you a little while longer than you anticipated, was that just going through the movement, the obstacles of trying to open a restaurant? Or?
Well, we've always been in the restaurant business with our family and everything like that, so we've learned quite a bit with them, and to get their insight from, you know, the family, it was great. You had to have an open mind and figure out like what's going to work, what's not going to work, kind of thing. You take certain things and then you have your vision and you try to, you know, put a twist on it. And I think, like we said, I played all over the world, and we've seen so many places that we've, you know, kind of taken, oh, we like this or we like that, and we're foodies. We love going
that was
places,
what
right?
the question was. Like, did you bring a lot of your around the world to this? Like the menu is, it's awesome. It's one of my favorite menus.
That's definitely one of the things we've been trying to do. We've changed the menu the last, you know, couple months. We'll put something different on and just trying, you know, getting our feet in the water there and then seeing what Chatham wants and what it needs. And we're just trying to bring some fresh, good food, great atmosphere. And
how hard is that to test the waters?
Well, I think with what you said, like Chatham's kind of late to the game in a lot of things, and I feel like a small city, they're not ready for a lot of the things that I would like to do yet, but it's much different now than it was like years ago still. So it is getting like a better, I know things that we would try back then when we were in the restaurant industry just did not work, did not fly. Now it's huge, you know, like little dishes and things, but I feel like, we're trying to ease into it, and we don't want to like, you know, overwhelm one with a huge menu. It's totally different and all that. So we're just
when you guys were coming home between winters playing hockey abroad, running the restaurant Friends, what was that pivot like to go from running across Europe, wherever you're at, and then come back home and trying to ground yourself? Because to me, that seems like that would be the job. Like, not only running something successful, because like a lot of my fondest memories of back then, like I can remember your guys' patio for Retrofest, and it just wilding out on there.
Yeah.
How was that to get yourself out of that mindset of, or is it a different mindset? Is it just go and stay the course?
Well, we were always still a part of it. I mean,
Well, no,
Even
sorry,
when-
not so much friends.
yeah,
we
but-
sold that like a while back.
yeah,
so-
but we were always a part of like the restaurant. But even when we were gone, so, you know, we were pretty close with her family. We're always talking to them, so it was like we're still a part of it.
Yeah.
We're up to date with everything, what's going on. We're still talking to the people that work there. They're our friends, and it was kind of just staying in contact. And then when you come home, you just gotta, you know, adapt or die kind of thing. I mean, we already know what's going on. We just jump back into our role and kind of, you know, play it by ear. So
It's it was, you guys made it look very easy. But I mean, you do have a family in the restaurant business for decades here. So I imagine what Father would give you. He seems like a very insightful man.
Well, when their restaurant, when they decided to get out of the industry, and he's like, I don't want you in this industry. He's like, this is too tough. It's too much for you. Like, he opened his first restaurant when he was 17.
Wow.
So he quit high school and opened up a pizza place next door to the high school. So he's like, you know, he wanted us to take it over. The finally, he's like, nope, this is too crazy. Nope, you focus on your family, whatever. Wanted us to have nothing to do with it. And then I was like, it's okay, I have Prem, whatever. And then 3 years later, this happened where they left next door to the store. I'm like, hey, tell me this is not meant to be. They closed next door. I'm like, going for it. And then so I'm talking to my dad. He's like, absolutely not. Not a chance. Nope, not doing it. And yeah, would not do it. And he was not like for it at all. And it is what it is. And I had,
On board,
I had to
He's
really.
sticking around.
Yeah.
He'll come around.
Depends
So
what days we keep going.
when did the family start to build? Were you playing hockey when you started the family?
Yes, yeah. I think it might have been like my 8th or 9th year, something like that. We had our first daughter. She was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where we had our
Tulsa.
first.
Not planned.
Our first stay at the Ronald McDonald House. So
Okay.
that was the first experience that we had, and then the second one was after my last year. She was pregnant with Ella, our youngest. She. We found out she was going to have some surgery. She had a cleft lip and palate. We just didn't think it was fair to, you know, go back to Europe or wherever I am and then have to fly back here. And it's just, you had to make that choice, like family first. So
Yeah.
we,
Beautiful.
yeah.
That kind of leads me into where you guys stand with the Ronald McDonald House, which is a really cool thing. It's something I get emotional. I've talked to you a few times.
Yeah.
I think you've inspired me to do better, want to be better, help. So you guys spent quite a bit of time in the Ronald McDonald House.
Well, when I say wasn't planned, I meant like the birth wasn't planned to be in the States. So I obviously had her 3 months early, basically like 29 and a half weeks early. So we had her in Oklahoma and they had a Ronald McDonald there. And, you know, like we were able to use the Ronald McDonald rooms in the hospital, but we couldn't actually stay at the Ronald McDonald House because at the time we were living in a team apartment and we had our dog, and Ronald McDonald doesn't allow pets. So unfortunately we could only use like the resources at the hospital but not actually stay. So we were there for, she was in the hospital for 49 days. So every day we had to drive back home to our apartment there at night, leave her there, and then drive back in the morning. And I'm like, there wasn't that Ronald McDonald that we could stay at and lean on and be right at the hospital. But then we had Ella, again, 3 months early, in London. We got to stay like right there at the hospital. So we would take turns, like our oldest daughter would stay with us, and Wes would go there in the night, and I'd switch off and I'd go there so that one of us was always at the hospital and then one of us was always with Aria, and we stayed there for 71 days at the Ronald McDonald. That's just when she was born, and she's had several surgeries since. So every time she has surgery, they still let us stay there and everything. And it's basically like a home away from home. They give us everything. Like, you know, they gave the kids all the costumes they wanted to go around trick or treat at the house and the different offices, like for the kids that were staying at the Ronald McDonald, and like all kinds of things, like obviously meals, laundry, everything. Like it was awesome.
Is that how we came to Prem?
So Prem is, a lot of people think it's like short form for premium. It's actually Prem is what they call babies born prematurely. So the name came about from the girls. I was a Prem myself. And so yes, that's how Prem came about. And then when we decided to do cocktails and candy canes, actually we're at the hospital, and how would it have been? Maybe, I don't know, a month or two in. Yeah. And we had the banquet hall at the time called Antina's.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone with my aunt. She's like, oh, someone just canceled their wedding in 2 weeks on a Saturday in December. I'm like, oh my gosh. And she was all stressed about it. And here I am at the hospital, like, I'm sitting next to an incubator. There's only so much I can do every day. So I was still like doing the scheduling for the restaurant, sending things on like socials, emails, because it's keeping busy. And I'm like, why don't I plan an event? And she's like, from there, I'm like, yeah.
That's
literally,
wild.
I planned that event. I think it was 3 weeks actually. 3 weeks. I planned the first cocktails and candy canes. We had over 300 people at it, and it was just like an awesome event. I had so many people reaching out to donate and like help us out.
Yeah.
And Ella got discharged from the hospital the day of our event. She was there, like, yeah, we've been trying to obviously bring her home forever, but yeah, the day we had our event, she got
The
discharged.
candy canes and cocktails event is huge, and you guys do such a beautiful event. Like every year, it's just when I can't imagine how it gets better. It gets amazing. It's one of my favorite things. To date, do you know what you've raised to donate? Because it is really amazing that you do all this every year. Like, I'm hoping this is a forever event with a yearly, like.
I believe it's a little over 61,000 that we've done so far, and
That's amazing.
Our goal is 25 this year. So
Yeah.
as it keeps progressing and growing, I think Chatham's becoming more helpful. I mean, the businesses have been great. The people. So it's great.
It's really amazing to hear that. I every year, getting my tables, like it's my Christmas present to me is figuring that out. I have friends from Montreal coming down. I've got, it's one of those events that it's my Christmas present. It is something that is so exciting, and it means so much. It means so much because you guys make it important. It's not a matter of show up and let's do this. Like, you have a heart in this. You have, and that, like, watching you guys do it again, run a company, a restaurant, like, I say it separately because I can't imagine the monster that is a restaurant. It seems like it would be wildly different from any other business. I'm sure you can attest to.
It's a lot, and during that time he started his own, he went out on his own and started his own construction company.
Yeah.
But right when he started, he was like a month in, and then I'm like, hey, let's move the store to something bigger. So 1 month in, I'm like, listen, I need you to do the renovations at their store. So he was there for a couple months. I think he had like a month or two, and then it was September, and Friends closed, and I'm like, I have another project, and he's like, what now? So then he was there for a while doing all those renos. So he has his stuff too that he's kind of had to put on hold, but juggling them all and having to like figure out, I guess, what works. And every day, like, okay, who's going where, who's doing this, and so far it's working out.
How does that schedule work?
It's a little crazy,
especially for kids and the extra.
How old are the girls now?
7 and 6. Yeah.
It's like a blank. Like, I went and watched my baby last night, who's no longer a baby. She's 17. It is wild how quickly they grow, and you guys do everything as a family. Like, it's always, every update is something family related. Like, you guys were out building a playhouse. What is life like running with the multifamily? You coming into it, how was it coming into the aquaport? How do I say? Aquaport.
Well, I don't know. It's a little. It's great, actually. I mean, they used to have the Sunday dinners and everything like that. they make everything family oriented and you know, help each other out. I scratch your back, you scratch mine, kind of thing, and everyone has their own, you know, their own talents and things that they can do to help each other out, and it's amazing. It's like they get everything done as a group, and you know, they're gonna have their fights and arguments, but at the end of it, they all love each other, and it's I definitely learned some things, and you know, they're there to support you. They, you know, hard love, they'll tell you exactly how it is, and you know, some people just can't take that, but you gotta have an open mind, and I've learned so much, and I'm grateful that I'm able to do that. So
it's a wonderful film. I've only known you guys through business and coming through there. I know your brother through cards, and I just recently met your younger brother, who's a successful realtor. He's it's just a really great family all the way around. I'm not going to take up much of your time. I know you guys got a busy day with the restaurant. I wanted to touch down on candy canes and cocktails, because that, I feel like next month, December the 7th, you're running at a different venue this year. So, and you're shooting for a bigger number than...
So before, when we had Valentina's, we did 300. The space isn't quite as big. And then now, so my family retired and then decided to take on another gig. So now they're the caterers there. So we moved it there, and we're hoping to sell 400 tickets because it's a bigger venue now. And hopefully this one's bigger and better than the rest. So
I'm sure it will be. It's an amazing time. Wes, Tiffany, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming today. And I will definitely see you December 7th, and we will do our best to help raise that $25,000.
Thank you.
Thank you.